Thursday, March 16th, 2020, 4 p.m. in Council Chambers. I will first read the statement of the chair. This public hearing is convened pursuant to Section 464 of the Local Government Act, RSBC 2015, to allow the public to make representation to Council respecting matters contained in Official Community Plan Amendment Bylaw number 1230.27 2020 and Zoning Amendment Bylaw number 1085.131 2020. Every person present who believes that their interest in property is affected by the proposed bylaw shall be given a reasonable opportunity to be heard respecting matters contained in the proposed bylaw. None of you will be discouraged or prevented from making your views known. However, it is important that you restrict your remarks to matters contained in the proposed bylaw. When speaking, please proceed to the microphone and commence your remarks by clearly stating your name and address. If they wish, members of council may ask you questions following your presentation. However, the function of council at this public hearing is to listen to you rather than to debate the merits of the proposed bylaw. In accordance with the council procedure bylaw, presentations by members of the public shall be limited to a maximum of 5 minutes each. If a person has additional information that he is unable to provide within that time frame, he shall be given further opportunity to address council after all other interested members of the public have been heard a first time. Please refrain from applause or other expressions of emotion during this public hearing so that we may ensure as impartial a hearing as possible. After this public hearing is adjourned, council members will not speak to the public on this matter until after the matter has been dealt with at a public meeting. After this public hearing has concluded, council may without further notice give whatever effect council believes proper to the representations made at this hearing. And confirmation of advertising and posting requirements. Notice of this public hearing was given in accordance with the Local Government Act and the Community Charter by distributing the notice as follows. Publishing in 2 consecutive editions of the Asuiz Times on March 5th and March 12th, 2020. Placing the notice on the bulletin boards in the Town Office and Planning and Development Services Department on March the 3rd, 2020. Posting the notice on the town's website on March 3rd and distributing via e-news on March 4th, 2020. Notification to the owners and or tenants of the public hearing meeting was mailed on March the 3rd, 2020, otherwise delivered to properties within a 60-meter radius of the subject property on March the 3rd. Summary of the staff report. Purpose of this meeting is to seek public input on zoning bylaw amendment number 1085.131 and official community plan number 1230.27 2020, which received first and second reading on February the 18th. The proposed text amendments are official community plan number 1230.27, Schedule A, OCP lot be amended to change the designation of the property described as Lot 4, District Lot 2450S, SDYD Plan 4519, except 30752 from HR, High Density Residential, to LR, Low Density Residential. And the Zoning Amendment Bylaw number 1085.131, that Schedule A zoning map be amended by changing the zoning of the land described as Lot 4, District Lot 2450S, SDYD Plan 4519, except 30752 from R7, High Density Residential, to R1, Single Family Residential. So I will ask Miss MacKay or Mrs. Cazzoni to give us the report, please.
Thank you, Mayor McCarta. The applicant and owner of Kevin Devereaux of Braeburn Place is proposing 2 bylaw changes, one for OCC and one for zoning.
Yeah.
You have to turn on your mic. Push the button.
Yeah, you're on. No, you're on. You're off.
Okay.
Okay.
You're off.
Just make
Yeah,
sure
you're
you,
good.
I'm okay?
yeah, just as long as you speak into it clear, yeah.
I'm good?
Thanks.
A little closer? Okay, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Owner applicant Kenneth Devereaux of 2 Braeburn Place, requesting 2 zoning amendments, 1 to the OCP and 1 zoning bylaw. To the overview, please. The owner of the subject property has applied for amendments to the OCP designation and the zoning to allow for the property to be developed with a new single-family residential home. This property is the only one in this area that is designated high density and zoned R7. The remainder of the neighborhood is currently zoned R1 and single-family residential. In the site context, land use and zoning surrounding a subject property include: to the north, a low-density residential and single-family residential along Braeburn Place. To the east, low-density residential and single-family residential along Braeburn Place. To the south, low-density residential and single-family residential along 92nd Avenue. And to the west, high-density residential and an R3 low-density residential. Policy, bylaw, and regulations. Official Community Plan 12/30/2007. The current OCP designation on the subject property is high-density residential, HR, and is not consistent with the surrounding land use and neighboring OCP designations. The zoning of this subject property is in conflict with the neighborhood land use patterns. Local Government Act, Section 4773, subsection A, consistency with the town's financial plan and the town's waste management plan. Given that the property consists of one single-family size parcel, there is no impact to either the town's financial plan or the waste management plan. Zoning bylaw 1085/1998. The property is currently zoned R7, high-density residential. The proposed amendment to the low-density residential, LR, would be consistent with the current land uses and the surrounding properties and minimizes land use conflicts. Rationale for recommendation: the property was previously part of a development proposal to be consolidated with property to move to the north and would have been used as a road access to a larger scale development that did not move forward. The subject property was then sold to the current owner with a now R7 rating zoning. Staff is of the opinion that this site is suitable for lower density zoning and that the proposal should proceed to public hearing, and in order to gather public input, note this property would likely be designated as low density residential in the new OCP, which is in progress. Implications. Community. A public meeting was held on March 3rd, 2020 from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. at Town Hall in the Planning and Development Services Department at 8711 Main Street. No public attended. Organizational. The proposed amendments have been forwarded to outside agencies for comment on January 31st, 2020. No comments have been identified to date. MOTI granted preliminary approval on February 21st, 2020. Budget. There are no impacts to the budget associated with this report or with the OCP amendment or the zoning proposal. Significant dates. As per Section 475 of the Local Government Act, when considering an amendment to an OCP, a local government must provide one or more opportunities, in addition to the public hearing, for appropriate consultation with persons, organizations, and authorities it considers may be affected by the OCP amendment. A public meeting was held on March 3rd, 2020 at 8711 Main Street. A notice of rezoning application sign had been posted on the subject property. Notification of the public hearing was mailed and delivered on March 3rd, 2020 to 2 properties within 60-meter radius as per the Town and Lands Use Procedure Bylaw and in compliance with the Local Government Act. Newspaper notices were placed in the paper on March 5th and March 12th, 2020 for the public hearing. Sustainability. The amendments proposed are consistent with the density within the neighborhood. Options. There are no options provided with this report. It is for information only for council at this time. Thank you very much. May I open court of?
Thank you very much, Ms. Gazzoni. So the applicant is not here to speak to this. We do not have anyone of the public that is here, but I will ask if for 3 times, because that's what I'm required to do. Is there anyone in the public who wishes to speak to this application? For the 2nd time, is there anyone in the public who wishes to speak to this application? And for a 3rd time, is there anyone in the public who wishes to speak to this application? Hearing none, I will accept a motion to adjourn this public hearing. Thank you. Councillor Rhodes, Councillor Bennett, all in favor. Thank you. We'll wait 2 minutes and we'll do the second one.
Sure.
Right? Let me find it in here.
So what are the next steps with this?
With
Okay.
that one in particular, so it'll come back for 3rd reading, the OCP amendment and the zoning bylaw amendment. And then it goes to MOT for approval of the zoning bylaw amendment. MOT does not approve OCPs. I mean, they'll review our new OCP, but they don't approve them per se. And then it'll come back to council for final adoption. Councillor Harvey?
Under the rationale, we didn't pick up on this before. It said the property was previously part of a development proposal to be in consolidation with property to the north and would have been used as road access to a larger scale development in
Right.
the gravel pit.
That's correct.
Is that property now isolated?
No, if you look, I think if you can see it in the map, the location map, can you? Oh, if you look on the location map and it sort of Braeburn kind of goes around the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got access, level access off of Braeburn, at the bottom of the gravel
Okay, I
pit.
just
Yeah.
because that was a proposed thing, we're not,
Yeah.
it's not gonna be anymore.
No, it's not. And what they've proposed now in a preliminary layout review letter has been issued for a subdivision, which includes its duplex lots, but their preliminary layout review letter is about to expire. I've already extended it once and
Yeah.
again.
I mean,
so-
hopefully sometime somebody will come up with a building proposal for that spot that's viable. I just wanted to make sure we weren't cutting off
Yeah.
access.
No, absolutely. And to be honest with you, a building proposal that would work best in that location is not what is currently under consideration, so, no. So we'll see where it goes and fingers crossed.
Okay, so are we ready for the second one? All right, so I will call this public hearing to order, and I will, do I have to read the statement of the chair? Yes, I do. So the statement of the chair at a public hearing, it's not here, so that's why I'm asking. Oh, it's different. The public hearing, this public hearing is convened pursuant to section 464 of the Local Government Act, RSBC 2015, to allow the public to make representation to council respecting matters contained in zoning amendment bylaw number 1085.129 2020. Every person present who believes that their interest in property is affected by the proposed bylaw shall be given a reasonable opportunity to be heard respecting matters contained in the proposed bylaw. None of you will be discouraged or prevented from making your views known. However, it is important that you restrict your remarks to matters contained in the proposed bylaw. When speaking, please proceed to the microphone and commence your remarks by clearly stating your name and address. If they wish, members of council may ask you questions following your presentation. However, the function of council at this public hearing is to listen to you rather than to debate the merits of the proposed bylaw. In accordance with the council procedure bylaw, presentations by members of the public shall be limited to a maximum of 5 minutes each. If a person has additional information that he is unable to provide within that time frame, he shall be given further opportunity to address council after all other interested members of the public have been heard a first time. Please refrain from applause or other expressions of emotion during this public hearing so that we may ensure as impartial a hearing as possible. After this public hearing is adjourned, council members will not speak to the public on this matter until after the matter has been dealt with at a public meeting. After this public hearing has concluded, council may, without further notice, give whatever effect council believes proper to the representations made at this hearing. Confirmation of advertising and posting requirements. Notice of this public hearing was given in accordance with the Local Government Act and the Community Charter by distributing the notice as follows. Publishing in 2 consecutive editions of the Asturias Times on March 5th and March 12th, 2020. Placing the notice on the bulletin boards in the Town Office and Planning and Development Services Department on March 3rd. Posting the notice on the town's website on March 3rd and distributing via e-news on March 6th, 2020. Notification to the owners and/or tenants of the public hearing meeting was mailed on February the 3rd, 2020, otherwise delivered to properties within a 60-meter radius of the subject property on February the 3rd. Is that correct, Miss?
That's
or should
correct.
that have been, that wasn't needed to be changed to March 3rd?
March 3rd.
Should it, the last 2 that I read, so it should have been instead of February, the last point, February 3rd it says, or March 3rd. The other ones up top say March 3rd.
When did it last come to council? Hang on a sec.
It might have been.
It was February, well, we did February 3rd, and then we had to do a report 2, remember? Oops.
Yes.
On March 2nd.
So,
But, yes, go ahead.
so do we, the notification to owners, I'm wondering about the chain, are those correct dates?
Oh, there's correct dates.
Okay, good.
Sorry, I beg your pardon.
Sorry, I'm sorry, that's
My
all I was
apologies, I
asking.
misunderstood.
Okay, so summary of the staff report. The purpose of this meeting is to seek public input on zoning bylaw amendment number 1085.129 2020, which received first reading and second reading on February the 3rd, 2020. The second reading was rescinded and reread on March the 2nd as amended. Zoning amendment bylaw number 1085.129 2020 proposes to amend the zoning bylaw from C4 tourist commercial to C4S tourist commercial site specific to allow for a residential unit in addition to the manager's unit to be used for employee housing, to be located within the existing commercial building. The bylaw is site-specific. The use will apply only to the Casa del Milo Oro property, legally described as Strata Plan KAS 2860, District Lot 43, SDYD, 5401 Lakeshore Drive. So, Ms. MacKay, are you going to give us a staff report, please?
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. I'm going to go very quickly.
That's fine.
So council will recall that we've already looked at this a couple of times, and you've already spoken to the legal description, et cetera, so I'll just launch very quickly into it.
Yep.
So the bylaw, if adopted, will allow for a residential unit to be used for employee housing to be located within the existing commercial building. And again, this will only apply to the Casa de Milo Oro property, and it will be in addition to the residential use that's already allowed for use by the owner or manager of the property. Text amendment is required as C4 zoning allows for only one dwelling unit within a commercial building for use by owner, manager, or proprietor. The subject property is designated tourist commercial in the official community plan, and that designation accommodates a range of zones to be allowed to allow for residential uses and businesses that support the tourism sector. In turn, the tourism sector generates a need for additional employees. The proposed use of the property to allow for an accommodation for staff of the facility is therefore considered to be in conformance with the official community plan. Staff is also of the opinion that the location is suitable for the proposed use and will enable, as noted earlier, a new residential suite. with respect to implications, for the community, providing opportunities for employee housing helps support our growing need for staff and staff accommodation within our community. Organizationally, a building permit will be required in order to proceed with the proposed changes to the existing building. And again, Ministry of Transportation and Infrastructure provide a letter of support dated January 13th, 2020, and no other concerns have been raised as part of the referral process. There are no impacts to the budget associated with this report or with the proposal. And again, notification was placed in the Osceola Times, and then notification was mailed and otherwise delivered, hand-delivered to all persons in the area. And of course, encouraging staff housing to be provided by local employers contributes to our sustainability initiative. There are no options to this report, and Council, this item will be placed on a future agenda for your consideration. Thank you, Mayor McCordoff.
Thank you very much. So we did have some correspondence received, and do I need to read that?
If it was part of the package, you do not.
I did not. I do not have it here, so I don't. Though that
It's
correspondence.
included.
Pardon me.
It's included.
Is it? I will. Maybe I don't have it on here. Is it right near the end? Okay, got it. Sorry. March the 9th. Dear Sir, Madam, we are the owners of 2 units at 5401 Lakeshore Drive in Osceola. We will be unable to attend the public meeting held on March 16th. However, we would like to support the proposed submission and have no concerns with the amendment. And that was 2 owners, and I'm not sure, do I say the names of the owners or not?
No.
Okay, and I have another letter.
You don't need to read them.
They're included in
They're
Oh, so
included.
sorry, I don't need to.
That-
You're okay.
Why didn't you stop me? I don't need to.
I think he tried.
I know, but it says that.
Here. You had a long.
Stop me. Okay.
Okay.
So we will go on to presentations, and we will see if anybody would like to speak to this. And is there anyone from the public who would like to speak to this issue? For the second time, I will ask if there's anyone from the public who would like to speak to this issue or this application. And for a third time, I will ask if there's anyone from the public who would like to speak to this application. Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I
Councillor.
have a question.
Oh,
first.
pardon me.
I just want curiosity. Do we know at this time whether it's a 1, 2, or 5-bedroom suite?
You know, I believe they're trying to make it as large as possible, which is fine with us because they already have a person in this position, and it's a family, and so they have children. So they've been doing great work for them, and as I understand it, they want to keep those people specifically there, and so they're trying to help facilitate that. So it will be, as I understand, at least 2 bedrooms.
Thank you.
Okay,
This is like being a hockey game, spectators.
I know.
Playing in front of the empty crowd.
Or a presidential debate.
Yeah.
That's true.
Okay, a motion to adjourn.
So we have a motion to adjourn, and it's seconded by Councillor Bennett. All in favor. Thank you very much, everyone. No, you're not.